Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. Schifferbooks.com is the website here on the side. Feel free to freeze frame and check that out if you're interested. Supportive Oracle Cards. You Are Clairvoyant Oracle Cards by Belinda Grace. Illustrations by Elaine Marzin. Alright. Yep. And the website is rockpoolpublishing.com.au is an apple, use an umbrella. I also use dice. I have a 22-sided dice. I substitute 22 for 0 for the Fool. And I use a 14-sided dice for the Minor Arcana, and I use a 4-sided dice to choose the element. This is where they came from. I want to say this is Math Art Fun, the dice shop, mathartfun.com. Hopefully you can read that if you want to read that. Alright. Of course, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. It's james4astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much, and let's get into your reading. Hello, Aries. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. Readings are valid from when you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Aries? What is that about? You got the Seven of Swords starting this right out, which is either, like, some people refer to it as the Thief card. Sometimes it's just literally not dealing with something or just, like, ignoring it sometimes, which is not really... It's not really an Aries thing to do that. So... Aries doesn't really do that. Aries is more likely to, like, deal with it and kind of like, this is what it is. Although, I have known a couple Aries that, like, if it's not their problem to fix, sometimes, I guess sometimes, if it's not your problem to fix and you're just like, I'm not even gonna go there. It's like, I'm not gonna go in and clean your house for you, so I'm not even gonna bother. It's kind of like one of those things. Like, your problem is just that. So maybe that might be why, I don't know. I feel like whatever the situation is, it's there. You don't like it. It's also like, I can't fix it, so... And I don't know what's going on with it. Something is distorted. Something doesn't look right. There's other people involved. It's one of those things where I feel like I don't want to be involved with it. I have my connections. It's something like that. It's kind of, for some of you, it might be family. Kind of like, you know, it's not like I want any part of that. It's just, but I'm related. Or it could be a work situation, same type of thing. Could be a friend connection where maybe you've had some good friends from the past and you're still friends with these people, but they've added people to their lives and you're just like, I don't like that, but I'm not going to desert my friend over it, or whoever. It feels like I have purposely, because I don't feel like I'm effective in this situation, or it's not my situation to fight for whatever reason, I've probably kept myself at a distance, and I don't look into it too deeply. I don't look at the situation too closely, because I'm just like, I'm pretty confident I will find something I don't like, and then I'll just be stuck with information that I'm not supposed to do anything with. So I feel like I keep a distance. So there's something going on here where it's heating up. It's kind of like, maybe it was tepid, it was just kind of like lukewarm. Now it's starting to get into the boiling point, whatever the situation is. It's starting to kick up. I'm not really confident that it's well, but people are telling you about what's coming forward. Things are just starting to happen. You don't seem to like it. But I also feel like, this is weird. You have the Ten of Swords and the Sun card at the same time. I don't like it. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I guess that'll solve the problem. Whatever this is, I keep getting that. I don't like it. I guess this will solve the problem, though. That Sun card is kind of like, ultimately, this will be a good thing. I don't like the way it's happening. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's just. But it will solve the problem, and we can move on from it finally. It's that type of energy. It's weird. It's a weird feeling. And I feel like my job at this point, what I feel is my job, is to stay out of it and let it fix itself. Eight of Cups, half in, half out, and the World card slowly coming in. It's like slowly coming in. Things are changing slowly. I feel like I'm kind of like, you know what, this situation is getting better. Whatever it is, it's getting better. I feel like I just got to let it do its thing and just kind of like stay out of the way. I don't like how it's doing it, but I also feel like if I try to fix it, it might actually stay, and I don't want it to stay. I want it to kind of move on. So I feel like if I just stay out of it, even though I don't like the way it's happening, ultimately it would be the better choice. It seems like it's hard to do that, though. It takes some restraint to do that. But I keep thinking, like, the bigger picture. I get involved, and I try to, like, work this out the way I feel like it should go, and it could actually just make it last longer. I don't want that to happen. At the same time, it does aggravate you. It does aggravate you is what I'm getting. Things are changing pretty quickly here. Are there conflicts is a good question. It doesn't mean that you're not speaking your mind at certain points. I feel like you are. You're just very strategic about how far you'll go with that. You might be letting people believe what they want to believe, but still standing your ground where you feel applicable, yet still letting go when you feel like, I don't want to give that card out. I don't want people to know I have that up my sleeve, so I'm just going to not show that. There's this energy it feels like it just keeps moving. It's the King of Wands energy, so things just keep changing. Things just keep going. And they seem to think they know you better than they actually do. That's another factor here. What's going on behind the scenes is a good question. Things are falling apart a little bit. By you not being involved and not saying anything, the situation does fall apart. I keep getting that. I feel like that's for the best. Take it with a grain of salt. It's a general read. All these came out upside down. Situation's falling apart, but I'm just like, as long as I stay out of it and I don't put any effort towards it, it will. And I keep getting again and again, like, this is probably for the best. Now, other people, due to what's going on, they're changing things. Things are rearranging. It is for the best. I feel like people are very thankful that you kept out of it. Some people might be shocked that you kept out of it, but also realizing that was the better choice. I feel like some people might finally realize, and take it with a mountain worth of salt, some people might finally realize that there's a lot more dimension to you than they realize. There's a lot more to Aries than they realize. They seem to think they know exactly how you're going to do what you're going to do when you're going to do it, and they're wrong. And they're just kind of like, you know what, there's more to Aries than I really understand. But they seem to be thinking, other people seem to be agreeing that you not being a part of it, you not saying anything or doing whatever you have to do was a good move. And they're kind of impressed. For some reason, they felt like you were going to handle this a different way. For whatever reason. Now, the situation... Okay. It's going to reconstitute in its own time. Don't help rebuild. I know that may sound odd. Why not help rebuild? Things aren't stable. Okay. Do not do this is what they're saying. Do not help rebuild. After it's like, it's wiped out, it seems like it's natural, like you're like, yeah, I want to help rebuild. They're saying don't do this. The reason they're saying that, it's unstable. I just feel like we're in this weird flux place where somebody has to get their bearings. They have to decide what they actually want to happen now. If you try to help them rebuild, I just feel like I'm going to be scapegoated. Is that the word for that? Where they're going to realize, this is not what I wanted either. Oh, thanks a lot, Aries. Now you got me stuck in this and I didn't even want it. That's what they're saying, don't. It's very unstable. They don't know what they want. They don't know what they really want to build. So rebuilding or they don't even know what they want. So stay out of that, too. That way, even if they end up with the same conclusion, whether you help or not, even if they end up in the same place and they're like, oh, I didn't even want this, how did I get stuck in this? At least they're not going to blame you for it. They can blame themselves, which is kind of where that should go anyway. But if you help, I just feel like they're going to scapegoat you on this one. The advice here is to find somebody you trust, somebody else who's stressed about it as well. Like, I almost feel like if I help third person, is that right? Can we get a help third person? That seems weird. That can't be. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, there's issues here. Okay. You got the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Do not help build anything. Keep getting that again. Do not help build anything. Let the situation settle and let people know that you're like, I don't think that this person knows what they want to do yet, so I'm not putting in the effort. You can talk about that. You're going to be stressed, but like you don't have to talk about it to other people if you don't want to, is what I'm also getting. Find a different version of emotional release. Maybe they're saying that to me. Because I keep seeing somebody alone on a street just walking. I do this. I go for a walk and I talk to myself and I'm like, I might look like I'm completely nuts, but that's how I work things out. Instead of having the conversation in my brain, it comes out my face. But I'm like, well, that's too bad. Sometimes when I'm walking or I'm out doing things myself, I can have those conversations and just sort out my own thoughts, and I can release a lot of stress. If you feel like you have somebody that you can vent off this energy and talk about it, and you can really trust them to keep that to themselves, I might also highlight that I feel like I would put it this way. I appreciate that I'm able to talk to you, person, whoever this person is, because I can vent these things out and I know it's just going to stay between us, and that takes off a lot of stress from me. You don't want to highlight to somebody in the sense of make sure this stays between just you, because I feel like people get defensive, but if you kind of angle it in the sense of I really appreciate having this conversation with you because it really releases a lot of stress from me when I know that I can talk about these things and it just stays between us, and I'm very comfortable with us having these conversations because I know that's how it happens. You kind of want to reiterate that that's what you want, but also put in that energy where that's what you expect. That way that nobody kind of lets things slip without thinking about it. Oh, I didn't realize you didn't want me telling people that type of thing. It's a more stressful way to not rebuild. Find a different way to release that emotion energy. Okay, so when it does rebuild, whatever this is that the Five of Wands? Are you kidding me? Well, I think the Five of Wands is showing up, which I know Aries isn't really upset about that. But things are going to slowly come into frame. Knight of Pentacles starts showing up. It is the Five of Wands and the Temperance card. Whoever needs to rebuild what they need to rebuild, there's a lot of conflict around it. There's a lot of when I see the Temperance card with the Five of Wands, it's kind of 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's kind of like dancing, but not really feeling the groove. It's kind of like a weird dance. They're getting somewhere, but it's kind of hopefully they don't go in a circle. This is how they need to do it to heal from this situation. That 2 steps forward, 1 step back gets them to really think about what they're doing. It gets them to really consider the decisions they're making. It helps them evolve in a positive way. It is helping them make better long-term decisions. It's not fun to do. You don't have to be a part of that. That's what's going to happen. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's reevaluating the thought process. It's getting them to think over stuff that they don't want to think about. So there's this process that's going to happen. That's going to happen when this starts reforming. Whoever this is that needs to fix their life, they need to do it on their terms. Judgment will go in their favor. I feel at one point you won't even need to help them anymore. Whoever this is, it seems like it's important to you, but whoever this is, they'll fix their own life and they will get in line with what they need to get in line with. So that'll be fine. It's after all this is said and done, whoever this person is, whether they're a family, friend, coworker, whatever this is, whatever it could be for you. After they go through that whole process, I feel like they return to your life a lot stronger and more opportunities come back then. So I do feel like this is ultimately worth it for you. I feel like they're trying to highlight the process for you to make it easier on you and to realize that it's a struggle for this person, but they need to struggle on their own to really put their life where they want it to be. And then things come forward and then we have more opportunity and then things are stronger between me and them. It's something they need to do. It's not really something you could do for them. And I feel like you've known that the whole way. But Aries, when they actually care about somebody, they are there for people when they care about them. So I feel like that's one of those things where it's kind of like, I don't want to be a jerk and not help. I want to help because these people matter. But like if you realize like it's not going to really serve you or them at this point, I feel like it's easier for you to be at peace with holding back and waiting for this to work itself out. They have to get themselves out of their own mess. Whoever this is, they have to get themselves out of their own mess. The whole point of this reading is so that you kind of are at peace with staying back from it. Because I feel like there's constant energy where like I've been wanting to help for the longest time, so that way when I see a moment to help, I'm like, okay, I'll help now. But it's kind of like, nope, wait for them to reconstitute their own life. Let them fix themselves what they need to fix. This is kind of a situation where they have to do the work. You can't do the work for them. And even by trying to help them, it just may make a more of a struggle for them, even though that's definitely not what you're trying to do. And overall, at the end, they will come back around, and this will reconnect the way you want it to, and I feel like good times are still ahead for you and whoever this is. Alright, I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.